Good morning, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. This will be a Divine Masculine check-in. Okay, so Divine Masculines are reevaluating their internal compass. They are trying to find which course takes them back home to self, back home to love, back home to where things make sense to their soul. The beauty of where Divine Masculines are at right now is that they're pumping the brakes on these cycles, these never-ending cycles, but they don't quite yet have the stamina to take the action. For some masculines, and we've seen this in the previous readings, they may be confronting chaos and conflict. This could be within themselves, or this could show up in their external world. You know, the interesting thing about spirit, if you are not following your intentions, if you're not following your soul's resonance, the divine has an interesting way of coming in and shaking up your life to such a degree that, you know, I'm trying to be nice about this and not scare anybody, but it's happened to me several times where I was dragging my feet on something and then the universe, uprooted the situation to where I no longer had a choice, where I was forced to take the action that was in alignment. And what are the things that block us from taking action? Fear, shame, fear of what other people are going to think, fear of the repercussions, fear of walking into a place that is unfamiliar, walking into the mystery, fearing. It's really scary to give over and surrender a piece of self to the infinite. Excuse me. Hold on, water. It was interesting that I started coughing right then. Sorry, I'm just feeling into what that might mean. I'm just giggling when, spirit slaps a divine gag order on me in the middle of these readings, and I'll have like a coughing fit. And sometimes it completely takes me out of, off my center, and I have no idea where we were. And so, that's my sign for spirit being like, nope, you're done talking about that. It's time to pivot and move on. So, okay, let's see. I think this actually came up in the last Divine Masculine reading. By the way, I'm so sorry. The neighbor's doing yard work. I hope it's not too much of an interference. So sorry about that. But I didn't want to wait to do this reading. Okay, so this came up in a previous Divine Masculine reading where they had the awareness that it was actually time to close a cycle, that it was time to leave their current situation. That could be a relationship, that could be a job, that could even be like a pattern of behavior. It's time to stop looking to this certain person for validation or something like that. It could be a pattern of behavior. So they have this awareness that it's time to close something or it's time to leave something, but it's almost like they don't have the energy right now because of all the chaos and conflict that they've been sustaining for so long. We have this time for a nap card. Yeah, so Divine Masculine energy really needs to take space to rest and integrate all that they have gone through. Okay, let's see. It's interesting. I started the reading talking about the internal compass. By the way, we'll put this little compass right here. No, we'll put it here so it's out of the way. Yeah, it's interesting because it's like deep down, masculine energy has always known where true north was located, but all of the blocks in the way of taking action towards that true north have been utterly terrifying up until this point. So they weren't able to step deeper into that particular alignment. Okay, I just got a random. This energy is dense and it feels a little sad. It feels like there's a bit of grief on both sides, on the internal and external masculine side, and also as a feminine receiving this. There's been so many choice points where masculine energy has turned away from resonance, and masculine energy has been very talented at compartmentalizing these things, but in that beautiful gift of being able to do that, right? And sometimes the system has to do that to survive. So let's honor that. In the gift of being able to do that, the shadow side of that is that once it's like, it's what it's reminding me of. It's like when people have that messy closet in their house. Like if they're having guests come over last minute, they will shove everything in this one closet. And it's almost like you have to push stuff in to be able to even shut the door, and you hope to God that it clicks and it doesn't explode and show all of your hidden crap everywhere. There's something about this, divine masculines. I think they've inherited a lot of patterns from culture, from their lineage, their ancestors, of doing what needs to be done, or perceiving that they have to sacrifice their truth, their desires, their emotions, their emotional experience. Ooh, that's the biggest one. They've had to sacrifice their emotional experiences for so long for the sake of the family, for the sake of survival, for the sake of all these different things. And every time they do that, it's like shoving just that much more into the closet, right? And it's getting a little pressurized in that closet. It's getting harder and harder to shut the door. And so again, right now, I think I don't know, there's a collective here that the closet's already exploded, and they're so exhausted from maintaining the chaos that now they can't even, now that the closet's exploded, they don't have 1 ounce of extra energy to actually clean up this additional mess. So it's like it's like when you've tried so hard to do something and then everything breaks down, or you have that moment where you're so defeated and you just have to look at the mess and walk away and go like take a nap or go eat lunch, or you just have to remove yourself from the situation. So for divine masculines right now who are going through this bit of chaos right now, let's say some deep prayers for them and send them some strength and some clarity and some protection at this time. And I'm going to speak directly to divine masculine energy right now. Divine masculines, I know that you've been treading water and constantly putting out fires for so long that it doesn't actually look like you've gotten anywhere, but actually you're already doing the thing that you desire. You continue to call your spirit back from places it doesn't belong and keep adjusting your position to start to try and face your true north, whatever that looks like for you. Yeah, there is a question here. We have this mirror card, and I feel like this always comes up for the divine masculines. Who or what is triggering you right now? Do you have any active triggers right now? I think it's really easy in this internal introspective work, or this path of self-awareness and illumination, whatever you want to call it. I think it's very easy to work on the triggers around people. It's so often people trigger us, right? Because people are the thing that we kind of compare ourselves to, right? But it's also really important to look at what might be triggering you. Like it could be an experience or a location. It could be living in your home or your apartment or wherever you live. It could be something that is out of the ordinary. So I'm just naming this to potentially prompt you to be aware and expand your concept of what may or may not be triggering you. Let's also honor that we are extremely sensitive, energetic beings, whether you're conscious of that data, that information or not. it's very possible that a location holds an energy that you are not supposed to be in. And to be very, like, you could get triggered by actually the energy or the history or the residual imprints in the quantum field where you live. And so if you find that you are like constantly stuck, or you take one step forward and get 10 steps back or something like that, where it really feels out of the ordinary, start to open your mind a little bit and invite other forms of potentials to arrive. Invite it, ask the divine, show you what is blocking you, please. One of the most powerhouse questions we can ask, it's really intense. Write this down. I don't recommend everyone just immediately ask this question, because you actually have to prepare yourself, mind, body, soul, to receive the answer to this question. But you can always write this down and revisit it later. Okay, let me just say it. God, show me what I fear to see. Show me what is the scariest potential that I fear to accept. And right, it's a loaded question. And more often than not, though, the scariest, darkest cave we fear to enter holds the treasure we seek, holds that key piece in our transformation. So I'm not saying don't ask the question, but I am saying be prepared. Prep your psyche, prep your heart. Make sure you are grounded. Make sure you have properly nourished and hydrated yourself. This is a loaded question, and you will receive a loaded answer. And then you will have to be responsible and accountable for doing the work and to confront what arises. Okay, Divine Masculines. I didn't even realize this. We have, hold on, let me see if there's any more. We have 3 cards of home. We have No Place Like Home. We have this map card, which says, which course takes me home. And then we have this Mintakin card, Longing for Home, belonging the original light workers. It's all coming together, intuitive connection, soul tribe. Oh, Divine Masculines, I'm sending you so much love. I'm sending you so much love for this longing and yearning that you have. And some of you may be yearning for a place, to return to a place, to return to a moment in time where you felt safe, secure, and loved unconditionally. And some of you are longing for that place that you've never actually had. Wherever you fall on this spectrum, I am holding space for you. I'm holding space for your pain, your grief, your sorrow. I'm getting a little emotional here. It's dense. It's very difficult energy. Okay. Sending you and holding this unconditional love. You are on the right path, Divine Masculines. All right, I'm going to drop into these inner child cards in this column right here. We have, you deserve to be seen. Let yourself be known. This kind of speaks to what I mentioned earlier, where Divine Masculine energy has had the role to be the disciplined one in the 3D, right? Feminine energy's zone of genius is the 5D, 3D is the zone of genius for the masculine energy. And together we share wisdom, right? Together we dance on this transpersonal bridge of unconditional love and infinite oneness, sharing what we know, sharing our gifts, sharing our talents, sharing messages from the other side. And we bring it and we share and we integrate and we then course correct, right? So there's something here about some of you Divine Masculine, or some of the Divine Masculine energy is very scared to step out and be seen outside of this outside of this masculine avatar, right? Let's just, the stereotypical, or it's a stereotype. Let's just honor that. The stereotypical masculine energy or the archetypal energy is strong, is stoic, usually doesn't show emotions, is, disciplined, always has an answer, always ready to swoop in and solve the problem. So anything that lies outside of these, conventional avatars is seen as, or can be seen as perceived as weak, as less than, as other. And anytime you step out against the herd, it is a difficult experience, right? It can bring about a lot of shame and insecurity and all these other things. And so, divine masculines, I'm just here to say to you right now that you are allowed, not only allowed, but it's your birthright to be seen. Let yourself be known. Let your true self be known. And that starts with you. It starts with you in the privacy of your own heart and mind and home, to allow your true desires to come to the surface, whatever they may be. Even if you even if your current desires are not where you want to end up, there's magic in the experience ahead of you. So honor the next step ahead of you, having total faith that you will end up where you need to be. Let it go. Let go of all that no longer serves you. Cultivate a space of stillness and silence to just be. Yeah, masculine energy usually has a tough time with this. It's always go, 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 penetrate, 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 build, 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 solve, solve, solve. But to really just allow yourself to be, right? We are human beings, not human doings. So allowing yourself to just exist. There's this great line when somebody asked Saint Teresa of Avila, what do you do when you pray? And she said, I allow myself to be loved. Ugh, it gets me every time. It's so beautiful. And so I think divine masculines are hurting for this. I think they are yearning just to be loved exactly as they are. I mean, aren't we all? But this is what's coming up today for this collective of masculines I'm reading for right now. Yeah, allow yourself to just be. Listen to the wisdom of your body, divine masculines. Honor your breath. Maybe some breath work may feel very nourishing for you at this time. Breath work is so powerful. It really recalibrates the nervous system when we're feeling a bit dysregulated. And again, all these things are pieces of self-care. Masculines, you deserve self-care, not just to be cherished and honored for what you're accomplishing in this life, but just because you exist, period. Big message. Okay. All right, let's move into these really fun cards. We have What is Mine to Share, the Sweeten card, and it's this image of a bee. I'm assuming it's a honey bee, and with the wings, I don't know if you could see on camera, but the wings are attached to what looks like a heart. And a part of me thought this was a sun, which it could be, but I bet it's a sunflower. That makes more sense for the imagery. Yeah, the Sweeten card. Masculines, what would sweeten your life right now? What would be really sweet? And I keep using that word because I want to keep us in this precious energy. What would feel really sweet right now? Maybe a walk with your beloved, a walk with a best friend, doing something that has no obvious outcome or accomplishment. I'm going to invite you to think about what is something that you could do, divine masculines, that doesn't have a goal or a specific outcome. Is there something you can do to just wander? What if you just wandered through a museum or wandered through a park with no timeline and no goal, no pathway? There's something in that for you. Okay, and then we have this Bobcat card. How can I go higher? I don't know why I'm also reading the face on the Bobcat as sad. I don't know why, but Again, there is this dense energy for divine masculines right now. Honor exactly where you're at. Do not shame what emotions are arising. Carve out sacred space for you to vibrate your emotional body. And if you can't do this in front of someone, absolutely do it alone. And if you can't do it alone, maybe ask for some support. Or if you want to do it alone and still can't, ask for the divine to intervene. You are safe. You are loved in all of your vulnerability. You will not be abandoned, rejected, or betrayed because of your vulnerability. And you know what's so sad and counterintuitive in these soulmate cycles is so often, masculine energy is scared to be vulnerable. And it's exactly that lack of vulnerability and lack of owning one's truth that makes the feminine energy turn away, because they feel like they can't trust the masculine energy because they're not bringing all of the truth on the table. So then the feminine is triggered by that and doesn't feel safe to share her vulnerability. And then the whole polarity is off, right? The whole polarity is completely out of whack and everyone's triggered, and it's a tough place to be. So again, how can we access our higher self? How can you access divine masculines, the highest and best possible interpretation? And if that's too big of a question to ask yourself a smaller question. What's blocking that? What do you think will happen if you access the higher path? I'll give you some examples just to get you going, but most people, and this isn't specific to masculine energy, most people are terrified to hold the highest and best possible interpretation because they think they are complicit in their own degradation. They think they're enabling their own abuse. And this is terrifying, right? To someone who is healing, or to someone who has been in any flavor of traumatic experience, right? There's a massive spectrum, and we don't compare suffering. Remember that. We do not compare suffering. Yes, I honor that there is a range of tragedy to like mild triggers and mild trauma. However, how it's received in the body, we can never know. The small thing might have an epic impact on someone, and the biggest thing might have very little impact on someone. So we never compare our suffering. So again, it is terrifying to think that we are complicit in our own pain. It's terrifying because we don't feel like we have control over the pain that we're walking into, or the suffering. So I honor masculines, how difficult this is, but this is a profound journal question. Ask yourself, how can I access my higher self? How can I go higher? Even if the emotional stuff is too dense for you, how can you just mentally go higher and think the higher thought? Now, again, like I said, if that's too dense of a question and you can't access that, it's complex, right? If you can't access that complexity, then access exactly what's in front of you. So if you can't access that, ask yourself, okay, what's blocking me doing that? What do I fear is going to happen if I think the highest and best possible outcome for myself? And this isn't even about someone else. This is about you, for your life. There's some people that really don't think they deserve incredible things happening to them. Okay, what is blocking that? What is in the way? What do you think is going to happen if you hold the highest and best possible outcome for yourself? I know I've said that like 3 or 4 separate ways, but I needed to say it. And again, I'm drawn to this, bobcats are excellent climbers, right? So if you can't climb to the top highest peak, then climb to just the next maybe 2 feet up from where you are. We don't have to take massive leaps and bounds. Every micro movement, or every moment where you choose to be micro present, is a profound ripple effect in the field. A beautiful follow-up question: what reminds you, divine masculines, that you are free? What are the markers that allow you to identify your freedom, your sovereignty, your empowerment? What are those things? Whatever those things are going to help line your path to liberation. And it's funny because this actually backfills or backfeeds into this original question of which course takes me home. When you'll find that the things that help you feel free are often the things that are going to take you back home to yourself. What's interesting, didn't we have... Yes, we do. Okay, we have this 42 card, You Deserve to Be Seen, which I spoke about earlier, masculines, let yourself be known. And then we have this bald eagle question, am I ready to be seen? So it's interesting that I said those in that order, because really this question should be first. Am I ready to be seen? If the answer is no, or if the answer is I don't know, again, what is right in front of you? What is blocking it? What is the fear that comes up if I push myself to be seen? What arises in the body, mind, soul? What are the contractions? Listen to the body speak. The body will answer you. This process is in tuning your sensory system to pick up on the answers. And then we have, what if everything is already working out? We have this lucky ladybug card, this charm card. What if everything is exactly as it should be? What if this chaos and conflict had to, I'm very drawn. I don't know can you see it on camera? I think you can. We've had this card many times. It's the 33 card. We have this creature that it looks like a zebra, but it also has these like giraffe-like spots on it, or cow. I think it's more giraffe. But again, it's like you've been a zebra your whole life, masculines, and yet you've had to wear this cloak or this costume of this other creature to be accepted. Maybe it's to be accepted by family. Maybe family pressures have forced you into a box that you never wanted to be in. There's something here that divine masculine energy is shedding a layer of this. And there's two narratives here. There's that narrative, and there's also the, in order to overcome chaos and conflict, you may need to shed a layer, excuse me. And then we have this best self card. I put my best self forward. It says, you have the power to do incredible things, masculines. So why not take advantage of that? All of your preparation is paying off, and it's time you step into your greatness. Do not be afraid to show the wonderful things you have to offer. Again, this is another card of allowing your gifts, your talent, your sovereignty to be seen. I am so deeply drawn to this top card right here. It says radical rebirth, right? The process of birth is radical. If you've had the privilege and honor to witness a live birth, I have witnessed a couple of my nieces and nephews, and it will change you. It is intense and powerful and stressful, and it's like your brain can't even process that this is how we make people, that this system has been in place for so long. I know that sounds funny, but it's such a radical experience, right? And so divine masculines, you are in this radical rebirth. I just got another message here about, I just see the visual of a massive bank vault, like a huge bank safe with one of those wall-sized doors. And all of a sudden, rapid fire, it's like the combination just clicked for masculines, and all of a sudden all the gears are turning and everything's moving in unison to allow all of the locks to come into sync and to open up, so that you can unlock this vault of true self, so that you can unlock, I'm aggressively drawn to this bald eagle's core. Their heart has an eye in it. You are aggressively drawn to this sacred self. And I honor if people have made you feel or have actually told you how wrong yourself is. I honor all of your pain, all of your trauma. You do not have to stay there. You are being called to step through this portal and allow this radical rebirth to take place. That's the beautiful, sacred thing about birth. At some point, the person or animal giving birth has to surrender. Yes, you push, but at some point the body takes over and the mechanism of birth kind of happens, right? Everything starts contracting and it's just happening. There's no real control over that at some point, and you have to surrender. Okay, what's left here? What is left? Let me just name these cards. So we have the desire, scarcity, miracles, and self-sabotage. So let me just say this like a blanket statement. Divine masculines, forgive yourself for all those moments you were drawn towards this scarcity mindset or this lack mentality. Yes, that was a piece of self-sabotaging behavior. You're no longer there now. You know better. You understand that you are worthy of going after your desires, and you are worthy to receive these epic miracles. Yeah, in the unconscious, I have this divine lineage card. You know, there's something, divine masculines, that you are actually stepping into your sacred role and inheriting your divine, or accepting or claiming your divine inheritance. That's what I wanted to say. You're literally accepting your inheritance. Okay, is there anything else? Is there anything else? Masculine, beautiful, well done. Your vibration is rising. You are becoming someone that holds profound wisdom from all of this chaos and conflict that you have overcome or that you are overcoming. Yes, this will be useful in the future, but that's of no consequence. Be present, deal with what's right in front of you, and believe that you can go the distance. I laugh, that came out of my mouth for a reason. In the unconscious, we have go the distance. There's some of you that still don't believe that this path is real, that this path of divine intelligence is actually speaking to you. You don't believe that you can actually make this happen, make a life out of resonance, make a life that is in alignment with your divine calling, your soul's purpose, your mission. Yep, it'll take work, but you're doing it. You are literally doing the thing you've always wanted to do. You're doing it. It probably doesn't feel that way because you're right in smack dab in the middle of it, but you're doing it. All right, let's get one Buddha wisdom card. Okay, we have, why do what you will regret and bring sorrow upon yourself? Do only what you do not regret and fill yourself with grace. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for being with me. I hope this was supportive, and I will see you in the next one.